Okay, good afternoon. I was supposed to do the presentation on Greek, but then I was like, since it's an international conference on visual communication, I should adjust because some people of you don't know Greek. For example, Yossi, that is the next presenter after me. So that's a last minute switch, let's say. A small introduction about myself. I am Andreas Brandus, creative director and founder of Brandus Strategy and Creative Solutions Agency, based in Athens, Greece. This is an agency that I basically started during the lockdown, during the pandemic, the second lockdown. I was about to enter in my office, ready to decorate, and then the lockdown came. So I spent some time thinking of how creative can I become all this period and find new methods in order to become more competitive for my clients. Today, my presentation is about the identification of branding tolerance groups for a successful creative strategy. First of all, I would like to state something. Brands exist and they're different because all of us are different, people are different, and brands exist because people exist. What do I want to say with this? Imagine a world that everybody is the same, has the same habits, the same interests, eats the same food, dresses with the same style, the same way. Everything would be boring, empty, without something that I would be jealous of. I would see everybody that would be the same. Nothing intriguing, nothing would be looking in the same direction. And it's very important that all these people that are different, in the end, they inspire all these brands to grow and fulfill all the desires that everybody has, all the different choices that they have, all the different interests that they do, and they want to differentiate themselves from all the other people. Tolerance is the difference between the maximum and the minimum limits. So basically, branding tolerance is the presentation about the identification of all these different categories when we have to face, when we want to make a brand strategy for a client, and all the different people as groups that we have to fulfill their desires and to follow the values of the brand that we want to. Sorry for my English. I mean, I'm Greek, you know, so I'm not British. All the desires that we want to fulfill in order to make the brand competitive to the other brands. So the branding tolerance categories are: first, the hyper branding; second, the selective branding; third, the anti-branding; fourth, the no branding; and fifth, the above branding. The characteristics. Hyper branding, or the in-your-face branding, is the being of something or someone doesn't count unless it is recognized as such by a large number of people. For example, all the victims of consumerism, like you buy an iPhone and I have to buy an iPhone. You buy a Lamborghini, I have to buy a Lamborghini. Just because it's a popular brand, just because it's something trendy, or just because it's something that suddenly I got jealous because you have it and I don't have it. Second, the selective branding. For this group, it matters that the branding efforts remain true to the actual product. They refuse to have their identity be stereotyped and co-opted by branding efforts. For example, if you really like a product, for example, I like Apple, I use Apple for almost all my life, and I'm not willing to change it. First of all, because I like the brand by itself. I have an iPhone, I have a MacBook, I have an iMac, everything. Secondly, because I don't like PCs, I can't work on them, so I am a selective branding tolerance group. I buy the product because I'm really in love with the brand, not because somebody manipulated me or somebody wanted to make me buy this product only because he's how to say, brainwashing me, right? The third is the anti-branding group. This category constitutes an anti-branding subculture, an anti-branding group, and primarily reflecting young hippies, anti-consumption, and environmental groups. Basically, they don't want branding. They fight against branding. They just want to be opposed to all these branding efforts that the brands do, and they actually fight with either with demonstrations, either with boycotting the brands, either with trying to manipulate also other people that do like brands. And this is a category that is, let's say, not the maximum percentage, but very minor. And then we have also the no branding, which is the category that approaches almost to zero. It doesn't affect the branding at all. This group is a non-participation movement as a way to gain distance from codified materialism. They just really don't care about it, even if it exists or not. People that go and buy, for example, wine, they don't even look at the brand, they just buy it because it's non-branded. They found it by somebody that sells small variety from some village, or they buy clothes from the, how say, laiki on English. Yeah, like buying clothes from laiki, not supporting at all brands. And generally, they don't affect all these categories, they just don't really care about branding. And then we have the above branding, the fifth category, which is a category that of people that perceive themselves as an inspiration to others. They're not affected by others. They really think that they do branding. They think that what they wear is what others should copy them. What they do is that others should do. And basically, they believe that what they do defines for others what is in. I know a lot of people, like fashion designers, for example, my friends, they never buy something branding. They prefer to buy material and make something custom, and then they wear it for themselves. This is something which is categorized as the above branding. So, after, when we have to make a positioning for our brand, we have to take take under notice that all these positionings, like quality positioning, price positioning, benefit positioning, problem and solution positioning, competitor-based positioning, and celebrity-driven positioning, they do affect all these groups. And when you want to make a strategy, you have to know which branding tolerance group you want to affect or not. And now we will see. For example, in the quality positioning example, the TGI Fridays versus McDonald's. The selective branding is the maximum group that, based on the quality of the product, is going to buy the product, and the least that they care is the above branding. For example, if you do care about the food that you eat, you are becoming a fan, you are becoming a supporter, and in the selective branding, people do care about what they wear, what they do, what they eat. Then we have the price positioning. An example, the iPhone versus the Chinese copy-paste phone from Xiaomi, which is the cheap version of a copy gadget comparing to iPhone. And when you want to make the price positioning, you need to know that, first of all, iPhone costs, for example, $1,000, and Xiaomi, which is the same, costs $100. So, yeah, it matters for them. And anti-branding, which usually they don't care about, and they fight against these groups, is the least that they care about that. Then we have the benefit positioning. An example, the Swiss knife versus the ordinary knife, where the Swiss knife is a knife that has a lot of different actions that you can do. You can cut, you can use it as a screwdriver, you can use it as a toothpick, as whatever you want, versus an ordinary knife that can just cut. So the selective branding would choose, of course, not only the quality and the price, but also what I can do with this product and how I can use it mostly. And the above branding also in this diagram is the least that care about. Problem and solution positioning. Example, what Netflix did versus a common DVD club that used to be around every corner like 15 years ago. What Netflix has to offer with this platform and what a DVD club gave like a solution to the problem that people had. And then we go to the competitor-based positioning, which is example Coca-Cola versus Pepsi, which is basically almost the same product but with a different name, and they always fight about which will be the best. In some countries Pepsi is even more popular than Coca-Cola, and the selective branding that drinks Coca-Cola will never drink Pepsi just because they think that Coca-Cola is better, and fans of Pepsi will never drink Coca-Cola because they think that Pepsi is better. But there are also people that can drink both or nothing. So the selective branding is very much into these kind of differentiations between these brands, which basically sell the same product. And then the last one is the celebrity-driven positioning. When we use a celebrity in order to represent our brand, we have an example of George Clooney with Nespresso, or with Mikhail Gorbachev, of the president of Russia, when he made a commercial for Pizza Hut after the Soviet Union collapsing. And this is mostly for the hyper branding tolerance groups, because they just want a celebrity that they know, they follow, and they like, in order to make the brand more popular. So basically all the followers that the celebrity has, then suddenly they become fans also for the product that the celebrity advertises. And then after all this, you have to take into consideration that when you start the brand development of your product, using this method of identifying the tolerance groups, the brand positioning groups, you start with the next step, which is the brand personality, the visual identity, when you will design the whole brand identity representation of your brand. If it is a product, then you will need a packaging, or if it's not a product or a service, then you have to develop the service. And the last part is the communication. So the implementation of all this, if you use them step by step, you will be able to learn more about your client, learn more about his values, which goals he wants to achieve, which targets he sets, and it will make you more certain about which solution you will give and which road you will follow to fulfill your client's needs. Thank you very much.